Hello, good afternoon. Me and my colleagues will give a series of advice to Ryanair using models and analysis given in class in order for them to enhance their business position. So right now, my colleague Luis will explain steeple plus E model in order for Ryanair to evaluate the company's position in the external environment.
We will be using steeple plus E model analysis to evaluate the factors that have some effect on Ryanair's performance, and to ultimately determine whether these factors are in fact opportunities or threats. With the end of keeping this argument short and to the point, I will only evaluate the most important and relevant factors for Ryanair. I will start with the environmental factor regarding the issue of green technology and sustainability. The main driver behind this issue is that it was imposed by Irish law with the end of reducing the overall carbon footprint that the airline industry has on the environment. However, if Ryanair takes this into account, it also must take into account that regulations regarding environment change over time. Therefore, this means more resources in the long term and more expenses. However, this represents a good opportunity for the company to improve the brand in front of the public, as it will portray the company as sustainable, taking ecological interests seriously, something that not a lot of companies do now, therefore giving a competitive advantage over the competitors. Now I will move on to the political factors, particularly towards the expansion of the European Union over time. The main driver behind this factor is that with time more European countries have been wanting to join the European Union. However, this majorly depends on the overall economic state of the Union, as when the economy is weak, countries prefer to stay independent. However, this may have the impact on Ryanair that if more countries ultimately join the Union, Ryanair will have a larger pool of customers from which to choose and more destinations for which to fly, therefore increasing profits in the long term. This represents a good opportunity for Ryanair to offer more destinations to a wider variety of customers. Now we'll move on to the legal factors, particularly to the new European Union regulation, which enforces companies to completely satisfy customers. This means that, well, particularly for airlines, that this is particularly important for airlines as they're committed to make sure that their passengers receive adequate customer service throughout their travels. The main impact this has on Ryanair is that, taking into account that the European Union has the ability of influencing a big part of the public, if Ryanair is not able to comply with these new regulations, it will lose face in front of the public, and therefore people will be more reluctant to fly with Ryanair. Therefore, we can conclude that this factor in specific is a threat, as it represents a possible loss of revenue. Finally, I will move on to the employment issue, as right now in Europe the unemployment rate is extremely high. However, this depends on the economic conditions of each country, as if you look at it from an economic perspective, the economy is in a better position than it was a year ago. However, the high unemployment rates represent an opportunity for Ryanair to choose from a wide variety of candidates which they can recruit and offer multiple employment opportunities which will improve the brand's image in front of the public, showing as a corporate socially responsible company.
Managers use SWOT analysis in order to examine a business position through these four main areas. Ryanair's main strength is that it's the low-cost leader in Europe. Difference between EasyJet is about 1/3. Ryanair fare rates are designed to stimulate demand and also are based on low-cost leisure and business travelers that need to fly more let's say, frequently than other people. Also, under the sustainability policies, Ryanair has proven to be one of the greenest airlines in the world, as they have reduced drastically their carbon dioxide emissions. And because of bad customer service, they are actually changing their business model to a more CRM-centric. This means they want to establish a long-lasting relationship with their customers. As for weaknesses, as I mentioned, they have a bad existing customer services. This could be most of the complaints are because of their support services via telephone. This is not just earnings, it's also, Ryanair depends also of this, because people normally travel during summer break and Christmas break. So apart from this, Ryanair could be losing some profit. And compared to its main competitor, EasyJet, they're not really active in social networking, while they could, let's say, update their sales and offerings through this. As for opportunities, Ryanair should expand and create new routes, departures into other locations, as they don't have that wide selection as other competitors. And this actually could be linked to the EU expansion, as they're having new members over time. So Ryanair could take advantage of this by, let's say, developing new routes. And as green technology as mentioned before, the promotion of green technology, it has proven to be really, let's say, have a positive impact on individuals that are actually more concerned about global warming and environmental issues. Finally, as threats, main competitors are EasyJet, Vueling, so this market share is actually getting more attractive and industries are trying to join as well. So that means that they're kind of losing competitive advantage. And as for the spread, Ebola has been a new, let's say, threat for this, because people are getting scared of traveling because they might get contaminated when they travel. And the euro depreciation exchange rate has not been really really great for the euro, so this gives an advantages for companies that are using US dollars.
Based on our STIBO plus E and SWOT analysis, our marketing objectives for Ryanair is number 1, increase brand awareness by 30% 2015 quarter 2. Number 2, because it's a company that is solely based on online sales and app sales, internet marketing is very important, web analytics, so they need to increase their organic visits to their website by 15% 2015 quarter 2, as well as its conversion rates by 20% 2015 quarter 2. Thirdly, it needs to improve its customer satisfaction level by 40% Q3 2015. This should be realistic since Ryanair is changing its business model and becoming tamer and friendlier. Lastly, it needs to increase its customer database by 40% Q1 2015. This shouldn't be a problem because they recently increased their forecast for the 2014 annual forecast of 2014.
One of our main selective strategies is Porter's generic model. This is based on 3 main aspects: differentiation, cost, and focus. A company cannot construct its strategy within this 3 because it would not be clear. Normally, a company would construct strategy within this 2 or this 2, and I'll explain this. But first, I'll define these 3 concepts. Differentiation is a company is focused on providing more benefits to its customers by having more investments in order to make a difference in what it is, the quality that they're offering. Cost, it's mainly about reducing production and distribution costs, so companies can underprice their competitors, that is offering low-cost services. And focus mainly is about a company, let's say, concentrating in either differentiation and cost and applying it to the target segment. It's clear that Ryanair is a cost-focused strategy, as their main mission is to provide low-cost fares in Europe.
For our strategy, we realized through our STIBO that Ryanair does not focus so much on its segmented specific demographics and it rather focuses on a more mass market, social cultural factors such as cost-conscious society as well as the ethics-centric society, who want, these two societies wanting more for less, value for money. Through the recent research that we have found, we found that Ryanair is currently changing its business model and its image to appear tamer and friendlier. So Ryanair should continue to develop better service to its customer, since it understands that its ethical decisions as well as its lack of decent service could be vital to the company's life. Low-cost airlines are also commonly associated with having low-quality service, hence the no-frills policy. If Ryanair is looking to tame down its image, it should be more flexible and not focus so much on the no-frills policy. Ryanair should also maintain and develop customer service experience as well as build and fully utilize its customer database so as to be able to improve customer service in the future. It should also look into retaining existing customers rather than obtaining new customers, because it's easier to retain than to obtain, and it's also potentially cheaper and may lower marketing expenses as well as cost of acquisition. Ryanair should also consider creating a strong brand awareness, as it currently lacks compared to its main competitor EasyJet in print and billboard ads, as well as since they're coming off as a more tamer, friendlier image, they should also consider social media presence so as to be able to have a personable relationship with its customers. Based on the strategy implemented, our team has come up with a series of actions which will be explained by my colleague later on, so as to ensure the company's vision is positioned ideally in the customer's mind.
Alright, on to marketing actions. My team and I base ourselves off the SDP strategy and the 3 Ps of service marketing. So we came up with 5 different actions that can be taken into account. First of all would be surveys. Have the customers assess the performance of the airline and their flights. Second would be the training and development, which would be where we have training program for our employees and devise certain incentives so they can be more performing at work. Third would be brand awareness. This is where the company would take it online and expand the name of the company to grow more awareness and knowledge about the company, just as our main competitor, EasyJet, has done. Fourth would be a loyalty program, which would allow customers to fly for free using a system of points that they accumulate on their loyalty card. And seeing as Ryanair is a low-fare company, they would be one of the only ones who would have this, which would be a great advantage for us. And finally, the development of a database. By developing a database, we can store, first of all, the surveys that our customers fill out and find out what are our true strengths and weaknesses and improve them.